All right, my friends, in today's video, it's actually about time that my son gets inducted into the PC Master Race.
Dirty console gaming peasants!
And so what I have here, I've compiled a decent, pretty budget gaming PC for him that should allow him to play everything that he's going to be wanting to play on his PC and actually would give him some decent room for upgradability. And it's all pretty good. The solid parts of the PC comes in around the $350 to $400 region, depending on the sales that you get, whereas the total package, including the monitor and the peripheral set, puts us just about at $500. So it's actually a pretty decent setup. We're gonna build it, we're gonna benchmark it, we're gonna talk about it, and he's getting a decent PC, one that I didn't get until I was much older. But thankfully we have partners like Wootware who helped us get all of these parts for our PC. They hooked us up with everything that's going on here, and we have video sponsors, such as today's. Today's video is actually sponsored by Skillshare. In case you haven't heard of them, Skillshare is an online learning community where you can find thousands of classes ranging from dozens of different topics, from creativity to entrepreneurship to web development. It's all there. And with the premium membership, you get access to it and you can join the classes at any time, including this one from Simon Sinek, how to share ideas that inspire action. You're trying to run a business, you're trying to grow a business, and you're trying to make sure that people who are working with you are on the same page. And Simon Sinek, the guy who wrote Good to Great, also has a course on Skillshare, so you know it's high quality teaching. And it's also incredibly affordable with an annual membership coming in at less than $10 a month. You can learn in so many different fields. If you're trying to grow yourself in developing new skills, understand some more about creativity, Skillshare is a place that you should go. And if you use the link in the video description, skl.sh/UFDTech5, you'll get a free 2-month premium membership with Skillshare. That's 2 months for free by just using a link in the video description. You have to try it out if you're interested in improving yourself. Just like my son goes to school, you guys should go to school too to continue learning, even if you're an adult, even if you're in your career. Skillshare makes it easy to make sure that you're advancing yourself as a priority. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through what we've got going on here. So he's not getting anything too fancy. We have a B350M mortar from MSI that we just had lying around. Actually, we took it out of Reese's computer because he's upgrading to a micro ITX. Mini ITX, wow. Downsizing. And he's gonna be getting the Ryzen 5 2400G. I had considered originally to get him the 3200G, but for $100, getting 4 cores, 8 threads, and getting the Vega 11 GPU versus the Vega 8 GPU, this is just gonna be a better experience for him overall. It's not too bad. We already had both of them lying around, so it wasn't an extra cost for me to go for the 2400G. Then we're gonna give him 8 gigabytes, 2666 megahertz RAM. So this is G.Skill Ripjaw's 5 2x4 gig kit. So we can have room to upgrade to 16 if we want to later on down the line, or we can just swap it out completely. We have 4 DIMM slots on this B350 from MSI. Then he's getting a 500 gig SSD, this Mushkin Source that we also just had lying around in case that's not a theme for today's video. So we also got this from Wootware, but we haven't used it in anything. Then we're gonna be powering everything, I believe, yes, on this Corsair VS350. Not the best power supply in the world, but guess what? We had it lying around. 350 watts, no 80 plus rating. It's gonna handle the 2400G perfectly fine. No need to be concerned with that. And then for the case, I gave him options. This is the one thing that I allowed him to pick out because the case kind of defines your personality, like the way it looks. And so I gave him the options between a whole bunch of different ones in different price brackets. You had things like this Cooler Master one with 3 RGB fans, and he said that he wanted a more refined approach with just RGB lighting, not necessarily the fans. So we got this Fantex P350X. I love this case. It's great for most builds. Having the micro ATX in here is not going to be a problem. Then we have for his keyboard, headset, mouse, and mouse pad, we have the Red Dragon Gaming Essentials setup. I believe, yeah, this is not the one with the mechanical keyboard. This is like $45 and you get all 4 parts. So that's gonna basically do all of the basics. And then this is probably the best part of his build, which is the monitors. This is actually probably the best budget gaming monitor that's available right now. I had to import it from Amazon, but it's 1080p, 75 hertz, FreeSync, 4 millisecond response time, and IPS. all for $90. That is an incredible price for all of the features that you're gonna get. And then it just gives him, like, he could keep this for years. This is not gonna be something that he's gonna get rid of his build anytime soon. So that's the breakdown. Let's get to building. Okay, friends, as you can see, my son's PC is done. He's not here because he's at school, and also haircut. So it's been a few days. We got this built. He's been enjoying it, and there's quite a few things that I kind of forgot about this build. In fact, we actually did this exact same PC build, plus or minus a few tweaks, over a year ago, and there's some interesting details behind that because the last time we did a 2400G all no GPU APU build, it was at the peak of the RAM and GPU crisis, so everything was incredibly expensive. So the total cost of just the PC on this is right around $400. When we built this PC over a year ago, that was $500, and we didn't even have a 500 gig SSD. We had a 120 gig SSD with no hard drive. So we've got an upgraded SSD in the system, as well as the previous build was in a P300 from Fantex. This is in the P350X, so it's a little bit of an upgrade over the case, and then a pretty massive upgrade, substantial on the SSD when it comes to storage capacity. And everything in this is pretty good. I thought I had 3 120mm fans, which is why I have 2 up front, and I was gonna put one at the back for the exhaust, but I didn't end up having the third one, so I'm just gonna swap one of these to the back. I had one lying around. Key point of this video, and I'm gonna just make sure that there's pretty decent airflow. But when I did a live stream with this build yesterday and I did all of the benchmarking, the APU never got above 60 degrees Celsius, so we're actually running pretty dang good even with the tempered side glass panel on and just with 2 intakes at the front. The APU doesn't really generate that much heat, so it's not a huge deal. And then when it comes to benchmarks, my son actually primarily wants to be playing Teamfight Tactics with me, so that's why we built him his own like APU build. He's not gonna be playing a whole lot of games, but we decided to benchmark it. Teamfight Tactics 1080p, very high, technically League of Legends. We averaged right around the 68 FPS region. It did pretty dang good. CSGO averaged right around the 60 FPS region, and Fortnite was right around 75 to 80 FPS. So that's all really good. Fortnite was 1080p low, and then CSGO was 1080p high. We did a bunch of benchmarks with this over a year ago at 720p because the goal was to get 720p 60 FPS gaming. But as I mentioned, I got my son this Acer 1080p 75 Hz FreeSync monitor, and that's why we're doing 1080p gaming. So it should be mostly fine for all of the generic games that are out there, most basic competitive games that you're gonna play. The 2400G is more than enough. 4 cores, 8 threads, the 8 gigs of RAM did splendidly. It's not really a big deal. My son also is trying to do some visual game programming, so this actually helps with that. There's a lot of opportunities that he's now going to have with this PC over, I mean, just playing games on anything else. He'll actually have a fully functional computer system, and we're gonna work on playing video games together now on the PC Master Race side of things. So for $400, we're getting a very good gaming system, can play 1080p games pretty easily, 720p, 60 FPS, not a problem. Then, I mean, for $500, for just $50 more than what we built this entire system for last time, we're also getting the peripheral combo from Red Dragon, as well as the 1080p 75 Hz 4 millisecond response time IPS monitor. So for $50 more, we're getting a pretty gosh dang good budget, and a lot of that is just due to the fact that RAM pricing has come down phenomenally as of late. SSD pricing has also fallen, so we're in a really good place with budget gaming builds. $400, and you're getting yourself something really solid. I'm actually really happy with this, and then I have the opportunity to upgrade him to a better graphics card if he happens to get into more demanding titles a little later on. I mean, just slapping an RX 570 or an RX 580 into this thing, would it be too difficult? And we're not going to lose that much because, yeah, we might only have a PCI Express 8x slot at the top because it's an APU, but it's also like, it's not going to hinder it that much. So I'm happy, he's happy, and that's gonna be really the end of this video. Let me know what you thought about this budget build. Is this something that you'd be interested in picking up? This was more a project that I needed for me specifically, and we're doing a video on that. Anyways, don't forget about today's video sponsor, Skillshare, and their online learning platform. Using the link in the video description gives you 2 months free of a premium membership so that you can just try it out, learn some stuff for free for 2 months, and if you love it, continue with an annual membership, which is less than $10 a month. If you don't love it, well, at least you'll learn something in 2 months. Either way, you win. So use the link in the video description. Big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video and allowing me to build a PC for my son. And with that, I want you to hit the like button. Let me know down in the comments, do you like this build? Would you pick up something different? I want to hear from you down below. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see your smiling faces again in the next video. Bye.